What I want to talk about today is the most important activity you do in real estate. So how did this come about? Well, it's been a combination of a few things. Francesca, my daughter, joining EXP and now grinding away. And I've got to see, like, at the coal face again now on a sort of a daily basis of what agents struggle with. And it's kind of been really brought before me again. That, and then just looking at the team. I've been looking at my board a lot recently, actually, and reading. So all the green names in the circles are people that I've personally sponsored. And looking through all of those, looking through my FLA versus FLQA. So I've got 103 FLAs. I think I've got 33 FLQAs, came down by a few recently, just thinking, wow, that's like 30% of my group are FLQAs. You know what that means? 70%. 70%, if it's representative of the whole group, of the group are not doing basically one deal every 6 months. You know, that is a remarkable statistic. I mean, that's remarkable. What 70% of 800 people is 550 people. So 550 out of 820 agents have not done a deal in the last 6 months. And it's not like I'm trying to shame anyone. It's like, I get concerned for you. I mean, how are you paying the bills? Like, what kind of pressure are you under? To me, that's quite staggering. So I've been thinking through all of this and watching Francesca, and then I've had a guy. He's at another company. He's a very, very sort of up and coming successful agent who reached out to me for coaching. And I've said to him, look, I don't do coaching anymore. And, you know, he wants to kind of meet with me personally. And I'm just saying to him, but like, I don't do that. And my agenda is for you to come to EXP. Let's be honest with each other. But maybe there's something we can like put together, and maybe I can put a little small group together and bring you in. And actually, that's what I want to do, because I'm trying to build a relationship with them. But the question that I sort of went through my mind with was, I was one of the top real estate trainers in the country. And I almost have lost sight of the fact that I have a system that I absolutely know 100% works if agents use it. I've been so focused on rev share and building the team and the culture and that I've kind of got away from my real estate training roots. And so what I'm wanting to do is, and I'm probably going to use family time to do it, I'm wanting to take you through my system over a period of time, break it down into sort of bite-sized pieces, that if you are struggling with sales, or you've got agents in your team struggling with sales, get them onto the family time meeting, because we're going to start going through some basics of success in real estate. And the first thing that I want to say to you is that there is one task above every other task in your real estate career that is more important, that is the driver of your success. If there's one thing that I could come into your office and I could say, show me this thing, that would be the thing that would tell me whether you are succeeding and whether you are going to succeed or not. So I want you to tell me, you can maybe put it in the chat bar, how you think I'm going to finish this sentence. The most important activity you do in real estate is what? Okay, so we've got relationships, cold calling, talking to people, sorry, it's going so fast, I can't keep up with it. Lead gen, prospecting, canvassing. Johan, what's nail list mean? Canvassing, building relationships while farming. Oh, name list. Name list, yes. Okay. All right. So the way I am going to finish that sentence is the most important activity you do in your real estate career is lead generation. Now, obviously, a bunch of those do fall into that, like Paul saying, talking to people, that's lead generation. Cold calling is lead generation. But the cold calling thing, I am going to disagree with the next point that I make, because, okay, so let's just go step by step. If the most important thing you do in your business is generating leads, and why is that, by the way? Because, guys, if you have, if you've got cash flow problems, if you're an agent and you haven't done a deal in the last 6 months, I can tell you now you've got cash flow problems. When you put your head on the pillow at night, you are stressed. Unless you've got a very wealthy husband or a very wealthy wife, you are stressed. And if I were to be able to give you, actually for all of you, if I were to be able to give you, say 10 hot, well-priced seller leads in your area right now, and they were expecting your call, they'd heard good things about you. Here they are, 10 hot leads for sellers. Would that not solve 99% of the problems you have right now? I mean, that answers it all. That would solve every problem you have. The reason many agents spend time with the wrong people and flog dead horses and try to sell things that are overpriced for, I mean, I'm glad Christine managed to get a seller down, but imagine having a listing. I'm sure it wasn't hers the whole 11 months, but imagine having a listing for 11 months and the thing's like not selling, and you're flogging. The reason people spend time with the wrong people is because they don't have anybody else to spend time with. That is the brutal truth of real estate. Agents get like a lead, and then they become like a clam. They just like hold on to that thing and try to get it to sell, get it to sell, get it to sell. Whereas if you've got options, the best thing you can do in your real estate business is give yourself options. And the only way to give yourself options where you can choose who you work with and you don't work with is to have an abundance of high quality leads. Lead generation is everything. Why do people talk about social media? Do you think we love putting videos on social media and making a public spectacle of ourselves? The reason everyone's talking about social media, so you got to be on social media, you got to be on Facebook, you got to be Instagram, you got to be doing reels, you got to be doing videos. Why do we do that? It's to generate leads. That's why we do it. It's all about lead generation. That's the whole thing in real estate. And yes, Francesca didn't know an OTP from her elbow. And the embarrassing thing is I couldn't actually tell her how to distinguish between the two. But you know what? She's in the middle of a transaction. She's learned an enormous amount working with Lisner on this one transaction. And she now knows what an OTP is. She knows what FICA is now. It's like those are the things that are an initial impediment, but they're short-term impediments in real estate. The long-term problem in real estate is lead generation. I hope that message is clear. Because what that means is, if you are not consistently implementing some kind of system for lead generation, you are not going to be consistently an FLQA to your sponsor, which means there's going to be periods of 6, 8, 12 months where you don't do a deal. And your life, my friend, in real estate is going to be inconsistency of income for the next 20 years until you get out of the real estate industry. You're going to have good months, terrible. Oh, I have a good month, terrible. Up and down, up and down, up and down. It's going to be this emotional roller coaster. The top agents in the world who all succeed consistently have a system of generating leads consistently. Okay, so now, if that is all true, then 3 very important questions arise out of that. So, question number 1, if generating leads is the most important thing I do, how many leads do I need at any one time? That's an important question because you don't want any strategy that you implement in your business to lack specificity. You need to be able to set goals with your strategies. So if lead generation is going to be the most important strategy in my business, I need to know how many leads do I need to be generating on a monthly basis? When do I have enough leads? When do I, perhaps more importantly, when do I not have enough leads? When should I be concerned? When should I be working harder, making more phone calls, doing all the things we're going to talk about to generate more leads? How do I know whether I'm doing well or not? That's an important question. Okay, the second question is, what's the best kind of lead? Because not all leads are created equal. You know, you phone, you're doing cold calling in your area, and you're phoning, and then you come across some person who just says, "Oh yeah, we've got like we've been wanting to have the house like valued," and you say, "Oh please, can I come and value it?" And they say, "Well, we've been dealing with someone else. It's okay, but can I just come?" Well, okay, right. Are you excited about that lead? Versus the best kind of lead that I'm going to suggest to you, which I'll do later. Right, so the third question is, how can I consistently generate that many of those kind? So now I'm taking questions 1 and 2, and I'm now asking the strategy question. If I need X number of leads to know that I'm doing well, and the best kind of lead is this specific kind of lead that I'm going to talk about, then we ask the strategy question. How can I implement a system that will generate me consistently this number of that kind of lead? That is what I am going to teach you. And guys, if I can just tell you my background. When I was 27, 28 years old, I met a guy named Tom Gay, who is the ex-chief executive of a company called Providence Systems. Providence Systems at the time, and still today, was the largest one-on-one coaching company in the world. They specialized, as I learned, over a highly miraculous and providential dinner, that this company specialized in the real estate industry. I didn't know the first thing about real estate. I had a little training company that was coming to a dying a slow death. And Tom liked me. We were introduced by a mutual friend. On the very night I was making a decision to take a job somewhere else the next morning. And Tom said, "Oh, well, you seem like a good trainer. Let's see if we can bring Providence to South Africa." So Providence is the company, the brainchild of a guy called Brian Buffini. Brian Buffini is the top real estate trainer in the world. And he's an Irish guy, went to America, made good, was a successful agent himself, and then started this training and coaching business, and it grew into. So when I was in Providence, I went to America and I spent some time at Providence. That was 2003. They had 10,000 coaching clients. They had a gymnasium, like a massive university gymnasium with little partitions, with like 4 little desks on either side of the partition, and just coaches as far as the eye could see, people coaching estate agents on these little headsets. And what did they coach agents to do? Well, they coached them to do exactly what I'm going to teach you how to do, because what I did was I brought Providence's business to South Africa. I spent some time with Brian in the States and learned their systems, came back with a bunch of VHF cassette tapes, if you remember those. And I put them in my little VHS machine, and I watched them and watched them and watched them and watched them. And then I did what I kind of do. I organize information. That's what I do. And I organized this thing, and I built a curriculum based on exactly, and some of the jokes were the same, and the scripts were the same. I just copied, rip off. It wasn't rip off and duplicate, but because I was doing it together with him, but it was basically copy exactly what he did and then make small changes for the South African market, which weren't a lot that they had to change. And I started Providence in South Africa. If you want to look up Brian Buffini, he's got the best podcast in the world. That's my view. It's called It's a Good Life. If you want to stop listening to nonsense and the radio in your car, open the podcast app on your phone, subscribe to Brian Buffini's It's a Good Life podcast. He interviews, it's not even real estate specific anymore. It's just about entrepreneurism and living a good life. He interviews some of the most incredible people in the world. Neil Armstrong, the astronaut, and he draws the biggest names. And it's all positive, it's clean, and it's about living a good life. It's really awesome. I want to encourage you guys to go and invest in yourselves by listening to podcasts as opposed to reading the newspaper and listening to the radio. Where was I? So, yes. I came back to South Africa, built Providence up, and over a period of sort of 6 or 7 years, we became the largest real estate training company in South Africa, the largest one-on-one coaching business in the real estate industry in South Africa. And I had, I trained tens of thousands of agents. We had hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of agents we coached one-on-one through our curriculum. And to this day, this is now 21 years later, to this day, I have agents coming to me saying, what you taught me to do 20 years ago changed my business. And they are still doing it today. So Brian Super is an example of that. Brian was a coaching client of ours way back in the day. Is there anybody else on the call here? Stick up a hand if you were a client of mine in my Providence days. Elmarie, Brad, Dave Beatty. I mean, look, these are some of our top achievers. Chris Whaling. Wow. Hey, geez, guys, we got lots of miles under the belt, eh? And so, I got to this point thinking about this the last few days that, man, we've trained some of the best estate agents in the country. And agents are struggling. Let's get back to some of the basics of working by referral. And that's the answer to the best kind of lead. So today, guys, today's a little bit of motivation, a little bit of prep for what we're going to get into. Okay, so I just want to build my case. The first question we were asking is, how many leads do you need? And some of you will recognize this spreadsheet. This is a good goal. It's a good guideline. Okay, if you're wanting to know, do I have enough hot leads? This is a great way to answer this question. This comes from Ricky Caruth. And he says, so he sells 100 homes a year with just a single assistant. He's got himself and his assistant. He's a single agent, and he sells 100 homes a year. And he basically says this is how he does it. He does it through circle prospecting, cold calling, and he's got a big email list. Those are his two strategies. And this is the main sheet that he tries to populate. Anytime you generate a buyer or seller lead where the buyer or the seller is wanting to make the move into the market in the next 90 days. So if it's a seller, you haven't listed it yet. If you've listed it, you take them off this list. They now are a current client. But if they're thinking of listing and they're serious and they want to list in the next 90 days, they go on the list. If it's a buyer and they're wanting to put an offer in, they want to purchase a property in the next 90 days, you put them on this list. And what he says is, if you can get your list out of the red into the green, in other words, more than 20 clients who want to make a move in the next 90 days, you will do, he says, in his experience, you will do 3 deals a month if you keep your hot list in the green. Now, obviously, what happens is you sell some, maybe a buyer buys through someone else, or someone lists with you. There's constantly people coming off the hot list. So this is a working document. It may change on a daily basis. In fact, if you're doing lead gen every day, it should change on a daily basis. So this is the first thing I would suggest you create for yourself. If somebody sends me an email later today, I can actually put a link to this. I think you can put an Excel spreadsheet in a WhatsApp group. I'll put the Excel spreadsheet for you in the WhatsApp group. Somebody just remind me later today. And start to have this thing open on your computer every day so that you know where you are as far as lead generation is concerned. I would actually be very interested, if I were in your shoes, to go and fill this in today and actually write in there how many leads you're currently working on and see how many you've got. Because if you've only got 1 or 2 or 3 people that you know are thinking of making a move in the next 90 days and you're in constant contact with them, you know, you're in trouble. My fear is that a lot of agents are in trouble. They don't know they're in trouble. They're just carrying on day by day and hoping things will get better. They're not going to get better. You have to make a dramatic change in your strategy if you want things to get better. And this is the foundation of it, lead generation. Okay, so there's the hot list. That's the answer to the first question. How many leads do I need? Okay, just keep your hot list in the green. Then the second question is, what is the best kind of lead? And my suggestion to you is going to be the best kind of lead is a referral. Now, this is where I kind of feel like I'm getting back to my roots, because I may have been distracted over the last few years to talk more and more about social media, video, Reels, Instagram, YouTube, yeah, and I'm not opposed to those things. They're good. I mean, I'm big on Reels and they work for me. But the truth of the matter is, even with agent attraction, the best kind of person for me to contact is someone who has been referred to me and they've heard good things about me. In fact, they are grateful when I call them. The first words out of their mouth are, "Oh, thanks for calling. My friend Elmarie said you'd be calling me. Here's what I'm wanting to do," and they immediately start telling you their story. They feel like they've now got the person that they want. So, how many of you guys, maybe just say I or something in the chat bar, how many of you have ever been referred to a potential seller, so that when you went to the listing presentation, you went to go and see them, they were already like expecting the call, they'd heard nice things about you. When you made the call to them, it wasn't a cold call, like they were expecting it. Now, for all of you who are saying I in the chat bar, which is great, I'm glad it's a lot of you, just tell me this, like, was that better than someone commenting on something on Facebook? Was that better than, you know, having to do cold calling, which some of you have to do before you build up your database? You know, if you've ever had a referral as a lead, guys, you will know this from personal experience. It is head and shoulders the best kind of lead. Now, if that is true, then is it not the rational thing to do to ask the question, how can I consistently, systematically generate more referred leads? And this is, I think, where the huge misconception is with working by referral, is that most people confuse word of mouth business with working by referral. What's the difference? Word of mouth is completely passive. Word of mouth means I sit back, I've done a great job for my clients, I've worked really hard, you know, like I served the last few clients up. I went out of the way to fix stuff in the house and go and sort out the geyser that burst that I didn't have to do. And man, I've given good service. And now, surely, I'm going to sit back and my phone's going to ring. Like, surely people are talking about me because I've given such good service. And guys, unfortunately, you're going to lose 9 out of 10 leads that you could have got by referral if you are just expecting them to come to you on their own. Working by referral is not a passive enterprise. Working by referral is a proactive system that you can build into your business that actually, on top of providing exceptional service to your clients, then goes out on a daily basis and goes and fetches the referrals, goes and gets the leads that people are sitting on. Because you know what it's like. There are people sitting out there, sitting on a lead for you that would be quite happy to refer you. They're just not thinking about it. And it might be a shocking fact for you to have to face, that most people are not walking around thinking, man, who can I refer to my estate agent today? You know, like, man, that's like at the top of my list of priorities for today, is to find someone to refer to my estate agent. They're not thinking about you. They got their own stresses. They got problems with their family, problems at their job. Their dog bit them this morning. They've run out of dog food and they've got to get to Woolies and pick them. Like, they're not thinking about you. That's why you cannot depend on word of mouth. Yes, you provide exceptional service, but you've got to have a system whereby you actually go into those relationships on a regular basis and you get the leads from them. That is what I can teach you how to do. I can teach you how to do that. 100%. I can teach you how to do it. We know how to do it. We have done this through my organization and Brian with their tens and tens of thousands of clients. We've done this with tens of thousands of people. We know that it works. Okay, so if it is so consistent, if it is so predictable, where's the catch? What's the problem here? Here's the catch. You ready? What I'm going to teach you to do requires an enormous amount of discipline. Everybody knows how to have a six-pack. Do you have a six-pack? Because if you're anything like me, you do not have a six-pack. Even if you know how to have a six-pack. Because I don't want to eat lettuce leaves for dinner. I want to enjoy my life. You know, you could use that argument with many things in life where, so I enjoy playing golf, and I've just purchased an online golf like school type thing, and this has been brought home to me again as I'm watching the various video series this guy's put on for your golf swing. None of it is rocket science. Okay, some of it is insightful, but there's no shortcut. If you want to start shallowing out your club, there's a drill that he gives you, and you got to do 1,000 reps. It's like, it's discipline. For those of you who can play a musical instrument, you know the number one thing when human beings are asked, what one skill or whatever would you like to have that you don't have now? What one skill or experience would you like? Something like over 80% of the answers are always, I'd like to play the guitar or play a musical instrument or sing. Well, I used to have a guy who worked for me at Providence. One of my coaches was an exceptional guitarist. And I got chatting to him one day. And in that conversation, I just remember it being brought home to me that if you want to be able to play the guitar well, it's not rocket science. There's no mystery to how to play the guitar. You can go online and know how to play the different chords. It is simply a case of working an hour a day on your chords, getting that thumb around and working and working and working and working. He just says he has played the guitar thousands and thousands and thousands of hours. That's life. And that's lead generation. If you want to work by referral, we can tell you how to do it absolutely categorically. Whether you will go and do it or not is a very big question mark, because you'll get excited for a week and you'll do it for a week. But you want to work by referral. You know what you got to do? You got to do these daily and weekly disciplines, week after week after week after week after week after week after week, month after month after month after month after month. You do that for like 2 years, and your business will never be the same again. Just this is the way life works. Okay, I think that's enough from me. So what I'm going to do, we may bounce in and out of it if there's something else that I want to do, get a guest speaker or whatever on family time. I still reserve the right to do that. But I'm going to start getting into some of this lead gen stuff again, because I just think there's too many agents struggling and the market is tough. But I think we are going to be heading into a better market towards the end of this year. And I want you guys to be ready. I want you to be the top of mind agent when that starts happening. All right, guys. God bless you. Any comments on that? You are welcome. In the last minute, maybe one or two of you can have the last word, and then we'll call it a day. All right, no hands up, but guys are just saying thank you. It's my pleasure, guys. Have a wonderful day ahead. Okay, Elmarie, why don't you take us home?
Steve, I just want to say thank you for this morning. I really needed this just to get back to the basics again, because the things that you taught us this years ago, and I have the systems in place, but I need to go back to the basics. You get reluctant and you forget to do what you have to do. And I'm very excited for just hearing from you again, and just to start over again, just streamline what I already have in place, which wat afgewater het. You just didn't do it anymore because you don't think it's important. So thank you. This morning I really needed this. Thank you.
Elmarie, my pleasure. Thank you. All right, guys, that's it. Have a great week ahead.
Thanks,
And,
everybody.
we'll
Bye-bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye, everybody. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks.
Yeah, bye.
Bye. Have a good week.